Well, folks, the U.S. Open is happening right now. It's a great American event. So naturally, a bunch of moron environmentalists showed up and glued their feet to the floor. There's a semifinal match, a really good semifinal match, on Thursday night between Coco Gauff and Karolina Muchova. It was delayed for almost an hour early in the second set by 4 environmental protesters in the upper levels of Arthur Ashe Stadium who are calling for an end to fossil fuels. Because this is how you end fossil fuels, guys. Everybody is now going to walk home and no one is going to drive home in their cars because you morons glued yourself to the seats. One protester glued his bare feet to the ground. Quick solution? Does he need feet? I don't know. The protest confused fans, TV commentators, and the players themselves who were like, what the F? Gauff, who's the eventual winner, was leading 6-4-1-0. Both players left the court. Stadium security tried to remove the protesters from the stadium. At least 10 New York City police officers were seen surrounding the disturbance in the loge level. Here's some video of the incident. People behind them are like smiling and laughing because this is so stupid and ridiculous. First of all, New Yorkers, I thought that you're a rough, tough bunch. I mean, you let them off kind of easy. They're just kind of sitting there watching these morons shout. They did this for 49 minutes. Now, how many devotees did they win to their cause? I'm just wondering. Also, what is your plan gluing yourself to the floor? I'm like, why would you think? I don't even understand the threat there. What is the threat? That you're not going to go away? Someone should just handcuff the guy, put some duct tape over his mouth, and let him sit there for the rest of his life. Like, fine. You want to glue yourself to the floor and sit here in the loge deck? Don't threaten me with a good time. A spokesperson for the NYPD said 4 protesters were taken into police custody without incident. It was unclear whether the police had charged them. They, of course, should charge them. It's also unclear how security and the police officers were able to unstick the man's feet from the stadium floor. Gauff said that she had a feeling there'd be a protest at the U.S. Open. She didn't have any idea what they were calling for. She said she believes in climate change. Oh, God. So we're going to do this dumb routine again. The group that was responsible said is called Extinction Rebellion NYC, which is a terrible name for a group. I don't even know what that stands for. It sounds like a crappy garage band, Extinction Rebellion NYC. And they said there is no tennis on a dead planet. I mean, fact check. True. There was tennis last night on a live planet where you morons glued your feet to the floor. Miles Grant, Extinction Rebellion spokesman, said in a phone interview that they were not hurt. That was really important to us. And apparently, this spokesperson also said the climate is already more disruptive than any activist can possibly be. Well, that's not true. I assume if it had rained, but it didn't. So again, more of this stupidity is probably good, is the truth. Because all the stupidity does is just undermine anyone taking your cause seriously. Is your cell phone in desperate need of replacement? You know, the battery is dying like every 5 seconds. You have to keep it plugged into the wall, which defeats the point of having a cell phone in the first place. Well, it's time to get rid of that old thing. Switch over to Pure Talk, and you will get a new 5G Samsung Galaxy from Pure Talk for free. You get a free 5G Samsung Galaxy with 2-day battery life, edge-to-edge display, ultra-strong Gorilla Glass when you sign up for Pure Talk's unlimited talk, text, and 15-gig data plan for just $35 a month. Plus, it comes with a mobile hotspot. If you're not using Pure Talk, you're simply paying too much money. Get all the data you could ever need for half the price of the big carriers on America's most dependable 5G network. Go to puretalk.com/Shapiro. Get your free, super durable 5G Samsung Galaxy when you switch over to Pure Talk. Again, visit puretalk.com/Shapiro. Make the switch to my cell phone company, Pure Talk, the official wireless partner of the Daily Wire. These days, I've been spending an awful lot of time on the phone related to business. Pure Talk is making that connection for me. If it's good enough for my business calls, it's good enough for everybody's business calls. Go check them out right now. puretalk.com/Shapiro to get your free, super durable 5G Samsung Galaxy when you switch on over to Pure Talk. Get great coverage and save money along the way. I've been on the road, obviously. That means not as much sleep as I need. Now I'm home. Tonight, I cannot wait to get on my Helix sleep mattress and go to sleep for hours and hours and hours. It is the thing I most need in life. My Helix sleep mattress makes my life possible. Head on over to Helix right now. They have a brand new high-end collection called Helix Elite. Helix has harnessed years of extensive mattress expertise to bring their customers a truly elevated sleep experience. The Helix Elite collection includes 6 different mattress models, each tailored for specific sleep positions and firmness preferences. I've had my Helix sleep mattress for 7-8 years at this point. It is great. It was made just for me. It's personalized for me. It is firm but breathable, which is what I need. I tend to heat up at night, and if the mattress is too soft, I get back pain. Helix made a mattress that works just for me. Their sleep quiz matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress, because why would you buy a mattress made for somebody else? I took that Helix quiz. I was matched with that firm but breathable mattress. You should do the same. Head on over to the Helix Labor Day sale. It's still going on. They're offering 25% off all mattress orders, 2 free pillows for my listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/Ben. Use code HelixPartner25. It's their best offer yet. It's not going to last long with Helix. Better sleep starts right now. Okay. Meanwhile, worst column of the day, courtesy of Thomas Friedman. It just shows you how the left is so fully dedicated, internationally and nationally in the United States, to the idea they would rather have bad things happen to the globe than allow their political opponents to ever achieve a victory. So Thomas Friedman is a perfect example of this. So it looks right now as though Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, may be able to cut a deal with the Saudis to normalize relations between the two countries. This would be an earth-shattering move. It would be amazing for the Middle East. You're talking about one of the most powerful countries in the region, moving in tandem with the most powerful military country in the region, one Muslim, one Jewish. That'd be like an amazing, amazing thing. The Abraham Accords like times 100 if Saudi Arabia signs on. And Saudi Arabia has every interest in signing on because they need economic growth. The promise of the Saudi royal kingdom is that they're going to provide economic growth to their citizens. The best way to do that is to modernize their technology. Also, the best way for them to modernize their military is to work with Israel in order to do that because Israel has a very, very modern military. You know what neither side really cares about? The terrorist Palestinian Authority and the terrorist Hamas. They don't care about that. You know who does care about that? Thomas Friedman. So Thomas Friedman, and also he really hates Bibi Netanyahu, despises him. So he has an entire column in the New York Times saying, you can't normalize relations with a government that isn't normal. So he's now encouraging the Saudis not to make peace with Israel because he doesn't like Bibi Netanyahu. So in this whole equation, you have Joe Biden, who's not sentient. You have the Saudi government, which is a dictatorship. And you have an elected government in Israel that's been in place for like 6 months with a prime minister who's been prime minister several times before. And the not normal government is the Israeli government? That's the one you have the real objection to here? I'm so confused. According to Thomas Friedman, the more I learn about the complex peace and security deal the Biden team is trying to put together between the United States, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the Palestinians, the more I'm convinced if they pull it off, they'll both win the Nobel Peace Prize and the Nobel Prize in Physics. Because finding a way to balance the different interests of all 4 of these parties makes quantum mechanics look as easy as tic-tac-toe. But let me just point out that the Palestinian interests are of very little consequence to anyone, since they've routinely undermined every peace agreement ever. The Palestinian leadership has been a terrorist leadership since Oslo and beyond. Mahmoud Abbas, the current leader of the Palestinian Authority, that's the moderate group over there, he did a speech the other day saying that the Germans murdered the Jews in the Holocaust because the Jews were usurious, because they charged interest. He actually had a prize removed from him by the Paris government. That's who Israel is supposed to be handing concessions to. You know who doesn't care about that? The Saudis. You know who doesn't care about that? The Israelis. You know who doesn't care about that? Any American, except apparently for Thomas Friedman. He says, the only deal I would support is one that would normalize relations between Israel and Saudi Arabia, forge a deeper security relationship between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia, and concretely advance a 2-state solution between Israeli and Palestinian. First of all, who cares what you think, Thomas Friedman? Who cares? He says, this is amazing. He says, this is not the version Bibi Netanyahu wants. So I want to appeal directly to Biden and the Saudi Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman. Do not let Netanyahu make you his useful idiots. The only idiot here is Thomas Friedman. Thomas Friedman, honestly, the worst columnist in America. Thomas Friedman, because he's respected. There are a bunch of bad columnists, but nobody thinks anything of them. Like no one's sitting around like, what does Jamal Bowie think this week? But Thomas Friedman is perceived as a foreign policy expert, which is absurd. His entire foreign policy expertise consists of going to foreign countries, being wined and dined by dictatorial regimes and talking to taxi drivers. If automated cars suddenly became a plausible mode of transportation in the taxi industry, Thomas Friedman would be out of a job. It's amazing. He says, you cannot have normalization with an Israeli government that is not normal. It will never be a stable U.S. ally or Saudi partner. And right now, Israel's government is not normal. What the? Really? Truly? Israel is not a stable U.S. ally or a Saudi partner? You're worried about the stability of Israel? A fully liberal democracy. You're worried about them as the stable partner. And the other party to this deal is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? Oh, man. Thomas Friedman. What a garbage heap he is. But political polarization is one hell of a drug. And if you hate somebody enough, you would rather watch failure for the countries involved, even though it would make the world a much better place, than allow that person to success. Amazing stuff there from Thomas Friedman. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.